just... Namaskar everyone, and welcome to SSRF Live Webinar. My name is Dragana. I'm an SSRF seeker from Belgrade, Serbia in Europe, and today's topic will be Holistic Healing Methods Part 3. If you watched last week, we were talking about some spiritual healing methods, and today we will continue with the same topic. Please share your name as well and where you are from, because it is nice to see how many people from around the world are actually watching these webinars. If you like these webinars, please type on like or share with your friends and family, if they have spiritual interest, of course, because then it will reach more people and it will help them in their life. As our previous webinars, this also will be interactive. You can type your questions in the comments section, and we will reply to these questions as much as we can during this webinar, and if some remain, we will be answering within 24 hours. So just feel free and keep typing your questions. Now, today, we will continue with some spiritual healing methods that you can use in your day-to-day life to help your spiritual practice and simply to help your life to be better. So, the one spiritual healing remedy that we will talk today is box therapy. Some of you who may have read it on the SSRF site in articles, you probably have heard about it. And just to remind everyone, then when we do spiritual healing, it is usually through the elements. And we can remind ourselves about the elements. First is earth, then water, then fire, air, and ether. Now the specific of this box remedy is that it uses the absolute ether element, which is the strongest of the 5. Because each one is more subtle than the one before, and ether is the strongest. If you just think of it, the entire cosmos is held by ether element. All the stars and planets are in ether element, so that is its power. So how do these boxes work? It sounds like a very simple thing to use, but it is really very important. How it works, I will show you. Here is one box that you can use. It can be this size, it can be smaller than this, and even bigger than this. The size does not matter so much. It has a void inside, and that void is actually ether element. So how does that work? Is that when you place it in front of you or around you, which I will show you now, it actually sucks in the negative energy from the atmosphere. It sucks in also the negative energy from yourself, from your aura. One way to also cleanse the home is if you put maybe some small boxes in corners. It can be like this. This is like a box from Speedo glasses for swimming. It just needs to be a clean box. And then you can put them in the corners where you sleep, in sleeping room, it can be in living room, it can be in your study room, or some of you who are doing service, when you do seva, you can put it around you in that room as well. Why in corners? Because negative energy gathers in corners more than in other spaces in our apartments or homes. Yeah? So, just to demonstrate now how you can use these boxes. It is good if you place 4 of them around yourself in all 4 directions. So you can put one on the left, like this, when you sit for chanting, for example. Or same you can do around your bed when you are tired for the night, for sleep. One can be on the left, one can be on the right. One can be at the back. I will just show you here. Push it right here, like that. So one can be in front of you. Yeah? Like this. Okay, these are quite big boxes, but now I'm happily surrounded with them. And usually when I sit to chant, I use boxes and I prevent any interaction with negative energy because they block it. They create a safe space for you. You are in the cocoon of that ether element. It really helps a lot. Please give it a try and you will see. Sometimes our intellect interferes and says, okay, how come a simple box can do such wonders? But truly it is so. And one other reason why it is like this is because the resolve, the sankalp, the resolve of His Holiness Dr. Atterley, the saint of the highest order, is behind this remedy. He has given us this. It has his blessings. So it is very potent for that very reason. I'll just remove them now so that they are not in the way when we talk about other things. Another thing that we wanted to show you is that you can use the small boxes in case you have some discomfort on the body. Let's say you have headache. So you can place it in front of your Ajna chakra like this. And in case there is pressure on the head, you can put it both on the Sahasrara and the Ajna chakra like this. And you can switch your hands like that. Yeah? I'm just trying to be in the frame so you can see both. Yeah? Another thing, if you have, let's say, pressure on the chest or discomfort here on Anahat chakra, you can put it there. Or you have discomfort on Ajna chakra, you can put it on your intermediate area and switch your hands like this. Of course, in case you have pressure on chest or chest pain, please do see a doctor first. But if you checked everything and there is nothing wrong with you, there is a chance that negative energy is actually interfering with your chakras. So if you put the boxes like that, that will suck out the black energy from these chakras and you will feel relief. You can keep them maybe 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, as much as you can tolerate, or you can put them, if you're sitting in front of the table or some desk, you can put them on the desk also. So be creative, but just try to use them because you will see the benefits. I don't know if there are some questions already pertaining to this topic. You can please ask your questions related to boxes. Right now, no questions yet, but please keep sending questions because if you're confused in any way how to use all these remedies, we are here to assist you in this webinar itself and later in the Q&A. Okay, Marianne, what should I do with the boxes after the healing? Should I throw it away? It's a good question. See, these boxes should be kept clean, and if you have SSRF incense sticks, which we showed last time, you can use the lit incense stick and smoke it inside, and then keep it and reuse it, not to throw them away. They can be reused, not a problem at all, but to keep them clean. John, can we combine boxes with incense sticks? And yes, absolutely. Again, one practical, nice question. Let's say you have some pressure here on Ajna chakra and it is quite strong. So you can use this and then you feel pressure on Sahasrara. So you can do like that. You can use Nyas, or you can keep Nyas here and box here. SSRF stick can be lit near you within half a meter to a meter distance, and it lasts for 30 minutes. And after that, SSRF effectiveness is 1 more hour. So you can use all 3 in combination. Gita, how long we can keep reusing the boxes? How to empty the negative energy from boxes? This is what we said. You can keep reusing them until they look decent. If they start falling apart, it is better to replace them with some new ones. And you can smoke them with the incense stick inside. Yeah? Sarah, can I also use it for my children, 5 years old and 8 years old? Yes, by all means. Just one of my good friends, she has a daughter, and her daughter has given birth to a baby. So they have placed small boxes around the crib of the baby also to protect the baby from the negative energy influences. So it can be used at any age. It has no meaning. Age has no meaning for the use of boxes. Peter, what chant do I need to do with this remedy? Again, nice question, Peter. Any chant that you usually do, you can do while you use the boxes. Let's say we are chanting as per the religion of birth. So that chant you can do. Or somebody else is doing the universal chant of Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That chant you can do. Or you sit to do Sri Gurudev Datta chant, which we discussed in the previous webinar, that protects from ancestral spirits and helps them to move on in the afterlife. Then you can do that chant also. So whichever chant you are doing, you can use it while you use the boxes. And how many times we have to charge it? Naina is asking. Basically, Naina, if we use, let's say I use these boxes for some time around it while chanting. So some hours will pass and I have done 1 hour of chanting, and then in the afternoon I want to do 1 more hour of chanting. Before I sit down to chant again I can smoke it with the incense stick inside. So before use, always smoke it, and after use also smoke it, keep it clean and neat, and pay gratitude also, because healing is happening through these boxes. Anna, I'm having nightmares often. Can some spiritual healing help? Yes, Anna, good question. Boxes we can put around the bed, because there are now nightmares, which is really not pleasant, or some people suffer from sleep paralysis. Then we can put the boxes before sleep, we can chant before sleep. Dear seekers, if you have nightmares or you have really difficult sleeping pattern and you can't sleep well, you can put a box in front of you like this and look at it. Right now you will not see me if I put myself in the box, but you can look in the box and chant for 30 minutes Sri Gurudev Datta chant before sleep. This will decrease the nightmares. You can try and let us know if it helped. Gita is asking, storage boxes under the bed are bad. They are full of negativity. Yes, if the apartment is small and we keep storage boxes under our bed, it is not such a good idea, because all these things that we keep in the storage boxes have their own energy, and usually they accumulate dust, they stay long there. So if there is no other possibility, you can put the boxes around the bed to prevent that, and if there is still space in between the storage box and your bed, you can put on the storage box, you can put a box like this towards the box for storage, and one on top towards the bottom of your bed, to prevent the influence of negative energy from the storage box. Another thing, even if we have a bed which is slightly elevated and there are no storage boxes underneath it, we can still do this. We can put one box on the floor, towards the floor, opening towards the floor, and on top of it another one which will be towards the ceiling, under the bed. So that will prevent negative energy coming from these two directions as well, apart from the 4 that we have already placed. Gratitude for this question, because we could mention this for under the bed. Do we have to utter any sankalpa before we start? Any resolve? The resolve has been given already, Sanj, by His Holiness Dr. Atterley, so no need for our resolve to use the boxes. They will work. So all you need to do is chant and try to use them. And you can share later in our Facebook page if it worked. How long should I do box remedy? Box remedy, you can keep the boxes whenever you need them, as long as you need them. And if you feel fine, you can remove them. Keep them at some nice place where they will not get much dirty. And then before reusing, smoke them again with the incense sticks and use them again. Okay? Can we have a slide with the boxes, please? Now you can see in this slide how the boxes are put. It is whatever we explained today, but it is like a drawing which will help you to see how the boxes are used. Okay. Dear seekers, now we will talk about sorry, there is one more question from Geeta. What to do with bed which is with attached box for storage? This is an interesting situation. Yes, some beds have that storage compartment underneath. You can put the boxes in the corners of that compartment under the bed. And you can put camphor inside. Our last remedy that we will mention today is camphor, and we will explain how to use it. So at that time you will understand how to put camphor in the storage box. So you can combine boxes and camphor. One more question. I wanted to do box remedy, but I have roommates who may think it is silly. Can I hide them? We can understand that. If one uses intellect, how we can understand how come this box is doing healing. But in spirituality, it is a science of experience. It is beyond five senses, mind and intellect. But when we experience it, then we believe in it and we try it. So if roommates object or think that it is silly, you can use very small ones. You can use maybe matchboxes. They are small, so they can be hidden somewhere. Or if it's under the bed, they may not see. So you can be creative and try to use it. Pavan, is there any scientific proof for this box stuff? Yes, the science is there. The ether element is very well known to science and its properties are there. And we have also done some measurements in the scientific field. And you can read a lot of that on our site. There are many case studies how the boxes can heal. Not only boxes, but all the spiritual healing remedies have spiritual science in it. Spiritual science is the true science from which all other sciences came to be. Yeah? It precedes all the sciences. It is God's divine science. We will move on, dear seekers, now to saltwater remedy. Some of you may have heard about saltwater remedy, or you are maybe already trying it. If you are trying and doing saltwater remedy, please type so that we see what are your experiences with it. But in general, just to explain about saltwater remedy. Throughout the day, as we said also in our previous webinar, we are going around the town, the city where we live in, or wherever we reside. And we have to go out, we have to go to school, to work. We are going to a mall, we are going to a cinema maybe, we are going to some restaurants sometimes. Wherever we go outside, Rajatama or negative energy frequencies are bound to be there. And in some places it is more, in some places it is less. So it is good practice that when we come home from work or school, we do saltwater remedy to reduce that black covering that accumulates from black energy on our aura. It is like a subtle bath that we do once a day. Once a day should be enough. If the stress is more, we can do it even twice a day. Salt water after getting up and salt water after coming back when we were somewhere outside or doing some activities. Now, you will see, we will put a video about salt water, how it works. And it is interesting that when we go outside, how this negative energy is accumulated is usually through the arms and through feet. So when we put the feet in the salt water, it sucks out, the salt in the water sucks out the negative energy from us, from our subtle body. So, since we have a busy lifestyle, it is a nice treatment because it takes merely 15 minutes. It is important to chant when you do that. When you sit with salt water, you need to chant inside and do a prayer. You will see all of that in the video. And what do you need for this remedy? You need a pretty large size bucket so that your feet can actually comfortably sit in it. Yeah? Then you need to put water up to your ankles to cover the ankles. And you need 2 spoons of rock salt. When we say rock salt, we mean the salt that comes from mines, not the sea salt. But if you cannot find rock salt, you can use sea salt, you can use table salt, but the effectiveness of the remedy will decrease by 30%. So try to use rock salt. Then what you also need, of course, is a towel to wipe your feet, and you need a mat when you take your feet out of the bucket to put the feet on the mat because the feet will be wet. So that is what you need. Before we start with this spiritual healing remedy, we can pray to God for removal of black energy covering and that a protective sheath of divine consciousness is created around us. When to use this saltwater remedy, even if you are not going out or throughout the day you feel some discomfort. So in the cases of feeling lethargic, then you can use salt water. Or reduction in promptness, you feel that you are slowing down, you are not so upbeat anymore, yeah? Then inability to think or confusion in thoughts or excessive thoughts which come out of nowhere and there is no particular reason for it. Or some sudden burst of anger or high emotion, very strong emotions without much reason for them, yeah? Or when you experience quite high level of stress or any form of illness. If you remember in our past webinar, the previous one, we discussed that whenever we have an illness in the body, illness by itself is Rajatama predominant. It has some negative energy by itself. And due to the law that like attracts alike, it attracts some Rajatama from the atmosphere. So usually every illness has at least 50% subtle effect, subtle negative energies that create this illness, gross and subtle. So if we use spiritual healing remedies, at least this 50% of the subtle influence by negative energies will be reduced or completely removed. And come to think of it, when I was preparing this webinar, I remembered that when I was small, my grandmother, she passed away in 1982, she used to tell us children when we are sick that we should do salt water. I remember, I didn't know why she's saying that, but it felt good, because it is pleasant to put the feet in warm water, especially in winter, yeah? But actually, she may have not known the spiritual science in it, but it worked. She used to tell to her children and to her grandchildren, and we used to do whenever we catch a cold or some influenza or flu, we would do saltwater remedy. So even at that time, it worked, and this old knowledge was there, but somehow we forgot about it. So please, dear seekers, you can try anytime, yeah? Now we can show you the salt water in the video.
In order to perform this remedy, you will require a bucket of water. You can adjust the temperature of the water as per your comfort. Fill the bucket to a level that would cover a little more than your ankles. You will also require 2 tablespoons of rock salt. It can be added while filling the bucket. Begin by immersing your feet in the water, saying an earnest prayer to God to suck out the black energy increases the efficacy of this remedy.
Lord, please let this spiritual healing remedy of salt water be successful and remove the energy from me, and let no negative energy come in the way of the cleansing process.
Place your feet in the bucket in such a way that the feet are apart from each other. This aids in the maximum discharge of black energy. Keep chanting the name of God according to your religion. The more the concentration and the devotion on the name of God, the more it helps the disintegration of the black energy particles in the body. The salt water is then better able to suck the black energy out. You will need to keep your feet immersed for around 10 to 15 minutes. During these 15 minutes, you may find yourself yawning and burping and experiencing sliminess on your feet. At times, the water may take on a blackish hue and emit a foul odor. These are all signs of the black energy being drained out of your body and that spiritual healing is taking place. After that, say a prayer of gratitude for the healing. Remove your feet from the water and wipe them on the towel. Drain the water into the toilet and rinse the bucket with fresh water and wash the towel separately.
Dear seekers, I hope the video was helpful. In the meantime, we have quite a number of questions here. We will go one by one. We have a question or comment from Mia. She said, I did the salt water and it was dark at the end, but the next time I did not see any changes. Mia, the reason why the water became dark is because a lot of black energy was accumulated in it, and this is a very good sign. And subsequently, it may not have been so much black energy anymore. But keep doing salt water. Don't stop if the water is not getting dark, because it becomes more and more subtle. At the beginning, you will see more on gross level, with gross eyes, that it becomes dark, but subtle effect of Rajatama on us in the atmosphere continues to be there. So you can continue with salt water remedy once a day. Raghuvinder, I started using boxes around my bed and my bedroom. Bad dreams and sleep paralysis stopped. Very nice, Raghuvinder. It is just a proof of what God gave us and all this that we talk about today. You have experienced it. So good you shared with us. Naina, I use the boxes in the car, so can I charge it with unlit incense? Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can carry SSRF incense sticks with you in the car and charge the boxes with the unlit incense sticks. Yelena is commenting that I do salt water every time I feel tired, and I yawn a lot, but afterwards I feel totally refreshed. Now, why Yelena is yawning? It is a good sign, Yelena, because it means that negative energy is coming out of our body through yawning. We can sometimes do burping, as we said in the previous webinar. There are other manifestations which actually tell us that negative energy is coming out of us. Yawning and burping are two quite typical manifestations of that. Swati, how long do we need to do salt water remedy? Each time you sit, you need to do it for 15 minutes. Dear seekers, I want to reintroduce myself right now because some of you may have joined later. My name is Dragana Kislovski. I'm a seeker from Belgrade, Serbia, in Europe, and I have been doing spiritual practice under the guidance of SSRF for the past 18 years. Today, we are discussing about some holistic healing methods. This is part 3. We have 2 previous webinars where we touched upon this topic. So enjoy and please use whatever you agree with or whatever you feel you need as your spiritual healing remedy. Nicolette, I live by the sea. Lucky you. Is it the same if I do this in the sea? Yes, you can do in the sea. That was my favorite when I went on vacation in Croatia. I used to go every day on one rock and put my feet in the sea. So you can do in the sea as well. And you will be out in nature. This is the benefit of living by the sea. George, can I put the hands in the water? See, George, if you have discomfort on the hands, don't put them along with in the same bucket with the feet. You can make a small, in some vessel, put salt water and just put the hands separately. You can do at the same time feet here and hands in another vessel with salt in it also. Lizzie, is it important if the salt is bigger or smaller? Is it more beneficial to use big-sized salt crystals? Well, yes, big salt crystals take more time to dissolve. That is why also rock salt is recommended, because the crystals in general have the property of imbibing positive and negative energy from the atmosphere. So in this specific case, it will imbibe negative energy, and the larger they are, they take less time, a longer time to dissolve, and that is why it is good if they are bigger. Francis Kuzmano, I cannot find this rock salt in the grocery store. Where do you live, Francis? Maybe we can help you. I have heard that if it's United States, they have some salt is called, but we heard from our seekers who were communicating with us on login that they actually found in supermarkets in the US some salt that is used for making some ice cream, but we don't know exactly how it is called. Can I use Epsom salt or ice cream salt? Bonnie is saying about ice cream salt, better to use ice cream salt. Epsom salt is something else, so it should not be used for this specific remedy. The chemical substances of Epsom salt is different. Laura, is Himalayan salt okay? Yes, Laura, Himalayan salt is one of the purest salts on the planet. It stems from the primordial sea, but it is costly. So we suggest simple rock salt, but if you can't find it and you have the money to pay for the Himalayan rock salt, you can try, you can use that. There is somebody with a Chinese name, which I'm sorry, I still cannot read. I will probably try to learn some Chinese with time. Can I use a basin instead of a bucket? Will a basin be too shallow? And does the bucket or basin have to be clean, or I can use any bucket or basin available in hand? Dear seekers, this question prompted to tell you something else. It is good that the bucket that you use for salt water is only kept for that purpose, not to use it for washing laundry or doing anything else. So that is why using basin for that purpose would not be good, because the negative energy will remain for some time in the subtle, in the basin, and there we wash our hands. We use that water from the basin to wash from the tap water to wash our face also. So better not to use basin. It is best to have a special bucket which you will use only for saltwater remedy. Christian, there has to be a really wide bucket since the feet aren't allowed to touch each other. Yeah, it can be a bucket. I don't know how big your feet are, but it can be a bucket of this size maybe, like that. So you can find some, it can be a plastic bucket. Doesn't have to be very expensive. How many days we should do this process? Rita is asking this. Rita, if you are a working woman or a busy lady, or you have many activities throughout the day, you can do it every day when you have time. Best is to do after your full day is almost complete. But sometimes you can skip. You can see how long you will need it. Definitely for some time we can keep doing this remedy, at least a week or two, then maybe have a break. Then when we feel some of those symptoms that we explained before, I will repeat them. The symptoms of lethargy, then excessive thinking, slowing down, or anger, or some extreme emotion, stress, or any form of illness, then again you can start doing saltwater remedy. Mark is asking, for what kind of problems do I need to do salt water? We just explained this now. Can I do it longer, or must I finish in 15 minutes? 15 minutes is the time set for that. No need to do longer than that, because the process of this negative energy being sucked into the salt crystals will be over. If you remain a longer time, then some negative energy from that salt dissolved in water will start coming back into your body, yeah? So better not to exceed 15 minutes. 15 minutes is sufficient. Dave is asking, what about sleepwalking? Can boxes also help? Yes, Dave, definitely. You can try to place, as we explained before, the boxes around your bed on all four sides, and two smaller boxes underneath the bed in this position, one towards the floor, one towards the ceiling. So this sleepwalking pattern may decrease, but to increase chanting, that is most important. Chanting will decrease all these effects of negative energy on us in the long run. That is the most subtle of all the remedies. I have obsessive thoughts and I get panic attacks because of it. Is salt water going to help? Surely, you can do various remedies for this kind of obsessive thoughts and panic attacks. You can do salt water, you can use boxes when you sit to chant, but above all, try to do some concentrated sit-down chanting for a reduction of negative energy. This you can ask on our login or in private messages, and we will guide you specifically on a personal level. So please feel free to write. Yes, Rita? She's saying, yes, I'm a working lady. Can I do at evening? Yes. When you come home, when you serve dinner to your family, then you can sit and do the salt water. Give yourself 15 minutes per day. Dear seekers, now we will go to prayers. Okay. Prayers you all have heard of, and you may have tried also. Many people are praying, and there is a real benefit to that. Prayers help us a lot. Prayer is a way of communion with God, with communion with the divine. So prayer is also very important when it comes to spiritual healing. Every single activity that we do related to spiritual healing, we should start with a prayer that this actually remedy helps me, that it reduces negative energy, that it gives me divine consciousness, that it infuses me with the divine energy. It evokes the presence of God, and also when we pray, we feel helpless in front of the divine, and we ask for that help. So prayer can benefit us on various levels. It can benefit us on action level, on thought level, on attitude level. So on action level, let's say I want to cook something for my family. If I pray before cooking, my action of cooking will be much better. Divine energy will be more in it if I pray and chant during cooking. On thought level, let's say I need to speak with someone. Then I can pray that let me speak softly, let me understand the other person, let me speak so that no misunderstanding is there. So then on thought level, I will also change due to that prayer. Or on attitude level, when we pray, we actually surrender. We surrender our doership. Our ego reduces automatically. So prayer is very, very beneficial. Also, if some of you are experiencing spiritual distress due to negative energies, it is very important to pray before you sit to chant, and every 5 to 10 minutes during chanting and sitting down chanting, to pray for the removal of negative energy, for the reduction of negative energy in me. And you can always use your full name when you do that prayer. So there are many, many prayers that you can do to reduce distress caused by negative energies, which we can also share with you if you write to us on Facebook in private messages or on login on our SSRF site. Some of you may know, may not know, but there is a slight difference in prayers. There are prayers who are with expectations, and there are prayers who are without expectations. So initially what we do, we pray with expectations. Yeah? For example, Lord, I have finished this job interview. Please let me get a job. I really need this job. Yeah? I can remember that when my daughter was 16, she used to do modeling. And before every casting or every fashion show that she used to do, she would pray like that, with expectations, that let this all go well, let me get the job, let me get the job that I like to do, let me get that campaign in modeling, like that. So these prayers are give me prayers. Yeah, you can remember them like that. And it is okay to pray like that also. But as we grow spiritually, as we do spiritual practice, we start doing the take me prayers, which means we're not asking anything from God to get. We want to give ourselves to the Lord. So, for example, if we use the same analogy of the job interview, this prayer would be, I have just finished the interview and I leave the outcome to you, God. And please grace me with the strength to accept the outcome as per your wish. So you can see the difference in this prayer. There is no expectation. We have done our best, we surrender, we give it to God. And God will decide whether this job is as per my karma or not, is it good for me or not. It takes some spiritual maturity to get to that stage of understanding and surrender, but we do get there relatively fast on this path, and we start praying without expectations. So you can try how you feel when you pray with expectations, and you can also try how you feel without expectations. Let me see if there are some questions. You can also ask questions about prayers. Yeah, there is Maya. How do I know God is hearing my prayers? It's a very nice question. See, God will not tell you specifically that I heard your prayers, yeah, but you will feel from within. You will feel, all of a sudden, you will feel more calmness, more bliss. You will feel that peace inside yourself, yeah. So that means actually that God has heard your prayers, and also you will see in life how things unfold, that God has come. He has come to my aid. He has come in my life. And when you grow spiritually more and more, you will see that everything around me is ordained by God, and God is opening my doors. He's taking care of me fully. And as I keep praying, I will feel that direct communion with God more and more. So you will know from inside that God has heard your prayers, and God is within us. God is in the soul, basically. God is always with us. So we are just with prayers reaching to that energy of God more. What is the maximum times that I can do salt water per day? Once or twice. More is not needed. So maybe one in the morning after getting up, and one after coming from work, for example. Amanda, I have many problems in life, economical and in family, and I'm praying to God. Is He going to help me? Amanda, God helps us all, but sometimes some things that happen to us happen due to our destiny, due to our karma. And sometimes things may change, but sometimes God is helping us by allowing us to go through that destiny. Because when we go through that destiny, we will finish it off, and we will be lighter for that. Due to that, we will be lighter. For that amount of destiny, we will be lighter. There is a whole webinar that we did and can do about destiny, which explains in detail how destiny works. And also, because we are seekers, because we are doing spiritual practice, because we are praying, we will be able to tolerate that destiny much better. So you can try going through your difficulties with prayer and without, and you will see the difference. And sometimes God may also change some events if it is for our spiritual growth, but we cannot influence it. This is totally up to God. God knows best what is good for us, how we will progress fastest. I sometimes cannot control anger. Can salt water help me with this? This is a topic that we will be discussing after, I think, 2 webinars from now on the 12th. We will discuss about personality defect removal, specifically in relation to anger. So stay tuned with us. We will talk at length about that. And can salt water help? Definitely, to some extent. But chanting will help you even more. And prayers will help. If you can't immediately, when you're at the height of anger, if you can't pray at that moment, then at least try to start chanting fast so that your mind starts calming down. And the moment mind starts calming down a little bit, starts praying, please God, I don't want to be angry. Please reduce my anger. Please teach me how to reduce anger. And for decreasing anger, personality defect removal aspect of spiritual practice, which we will talk about in 3 series, from 12th March onwards, will help you the most. We will explain in detail how you can do that. Rita, I want to know about box, which I missed. Please tell again. Rita, maybe you can watch the video webinar after, because now I cannot remember at which point and what exactly I told you. So you can watch it again and you will see and hear what we talked about boxes. Carl, how should I pray? Is it okay to tell God what problems I'm experiencing? Carl, we should pray like a child, open-minded, sincere. You know how little children talk. They are very open and sincere. So like that, we should talk to God. God is our creator, our father, our mother, our best friend, isn't it? All these people in our life are given to us by God. He is everything. So you can talk to God like a child. You can talk like a beggar also. Dear Lord, I don't have enough patience. Please teach me how to be more patient. But with that surrender, with that humility, you will start seeing God working in your life more and more. So definitely you can take a habit to tell God what happened throughout the day at the end of the day, before going to sleep. When we were small, our grannies were telling us, talk to God, pray before sleep. So like that we can also do. Everybody has his own or her own system. So you can have your own system, how you will pray to God. David, do I have to join hands when praying? We will explain in this webinar how we will do the prayer mudra. And actually we can do it now, not a problem. We can have that slide with the mudra. So you can see in this slide how you can pray. Yeah? We basically join our hands. We can remove the slide now. I will show. So we join the hands like this and put on Agnya chakra. And then lower it to the chest area. This way, both in Agnya chakra and in Anahat chakra, divine energy comes, as you saw on the slide. If needed, we can show the slide again. Mia is asking, actually saying that my father is ill. Can I pray for him? Will it help? See, prayers do help, especially when our dear one is sick. Psychologically, it will give some peace of mind. But for us to be able to really influence someone else, our spiritual level needs to be really high, actually saint level and above, to be able to influence somebody's state of mind or situation in life. So, best is that you pray for yourself to be able to go through the destiny of your father, because you are going with him in this destiny by observing him or being near him, so that you have that peace of mind to be able to help him to increase your spiritual level with spiritual practice, and then you will be able to tolerate your own and everybody else's destiny with much more calmness of mind. But praying will help you on psychological level as well. Okay, now to give some tips maybe when we can pray. There are many activities throughout the day when we can pray. One of them is, let's say, when waking up in the morning. As soon as we wake up, we can say, Dear Lord, gratitude for being alive, gratitude for one more day, for this sunny day, for whatever. You can pray upon waking up, in a way, greeting the Lord. Then, before or during cooking, I've really tried this. Sometimes I don't tell my family members or seekers that come and visit if I have chanted and prayed before cooking, and each time, invariably, if I have put more effort into praying and chanting during cooking, they will feel that the food is exquisite. No matter, even if it's exactly the same dish that I have made many times, but it will be better. So this is because divine energy comes into the food, and then they partake of this food with much more bliss. Yeah. Before eating, it is good practice. In the past, in the olden days, I remember that in families, everybody would gather around and they will pray before eating. We can go back to that habit if we have forgotten about it, because it is excellent. It gives that gratitude feeling that God has given this food. How we would have food? You can just observe in nature. God gave everything for free. We don't realize how much God is giving. So at least we can pray before partaking of food. On our site there are articles, there are subtle drawings about that, drawings based on subtle knowledge, which you can see how it helps praying before eating. Then before starting to drive, very important, dear seekers, I've also tried like that, my husband as well, whenever we start to drive, for whatever reason, wherever we are going, we always sit in the car and pray first. And if we sometimes forgot, what could happen, all of a sudden when we drive, some car comes from here, some car comes from there, and we get into some semi-dangerous situations. But if we pray, nothing happens. So you can try like that as well. And those of you who are commuting long hours to go to work and back from work, you can pray, you can chant during that time, and your time in commuting will be spent in spiritual practice actually. It will not be a lost time. Then those of you who are doing service to God, before you start the service, before you start seva, you can pray and express gratitude after. And also before going to sleep. Just like when you asked here what to do before sleep, we can pray and narrate to God how to talk to Him. We can pray to Him and explain what all happened throughout the day. Yeah, that is also a form of communion. There are more questions. How to overcome financial problems, especially for my husband. Dear Rita, these problems can be due to various reasons. It can be due to our joint destiny, it can be due to his destiny also, or it can also be due to some worldly reasons. Let's say the entire country is in financial problems, or it can be due to ancestral problems also. So, since we are not sure what causes it, it is best that you chant as per the religion of birth, your husband, if he accepts as well, and both of you to do Sri Gurudev Datta chanting 2 hours per day. You don't need to sit down all the time. You can chant 15 minutes in the morning, 15 in the afternoon initially, and then keep increasing if you are not chanting already. If you are, just keep increasing chanting. Maybe Datta chant, and if you have more problems and they continue, you can ask on private messages or on login, and we will guide you individually on this. Can prayers and remedy help with black magic? Black magic is present in this world, but thank God it is not as present as people think, and its potency is also not that great as many people think. Common people that do black magic cannot do much damage, because even to do black magic, one has to have a good spiritual level on the negative side. So to say, they have to have such power, the negative power, to influence somebody through black magic. Majority doesn't have that power. There are some who have, and yes, that can be dangerous. And if we do spiritual practice, the more we do spiritual practice, the more protection from God we have, and black magic cannot touch us. So all these remedies are just added value to our spiritual practice to reduce or remove completely effect of black magic. Stefan Barbalata from Romania. Is it important the position of the boxes? What would be the effect if we use the empty part facing us or the back side of the box? Could we use 2 boxes, one with empty part facing us, the other one vice versa? And if yes, what would be the effect? It's a very good question, Stefan. Gratitude for asking. I will explain. I will use these small ones, and they're easier than these big ones to show. See, if we use towards ourselves, then this box is sucking the negative energy from us. If we use this back side, then it will repel the negative energy from us. So, if there is problems during sleep or at night, you can place one box like this away from you, and one box towards you, so that it both repels and sucks in negative energy. I hope this answers your question. So yes, we can use 2 boxes as well. Good question. Okay, dear seekers. Now, just to summarize about prayers. Prayers is a form of communion or conversation with God. And chanting is a condensed form of prayer in the form of the name of God. So chanting is also a form of prayer, so to say. And prayer helps in development of love for God and reduction of our ego. So it is very, very important to pray in our spiritual practice. Dear seekers, we will show one more remedy. Maybe you have heard of it. It is called camphor. I have it here in this plastic container, granules of camphor. You can see them. They can be small or big. Camphor is basically a resin from the Carpora plant that grows in India. And we should always use Bhimseni pure camphor. This is Bhimseni. Bhimseni camphor is pure camphor. Other camphors that we can find in pharmacies are not so pure. They are more chemicals and they can be toxic. But this Bhimseni is a natural pure camphor. There are sites on the internet where you can order or find Bhimseni camphor. Also in some Indian shops you can find them. Depends where you live. So how to use camphor? To go to that question about the compartment under the bed, so you can use some of these granules and put them all around that compartment. So camphor will be under your bed. Dear seekers, you can also crush camphor like this. It is very easily crushable, like that. It becomes powder just by squeezing it, like this. You can put it on your bed before sleep. Like salt, you know, you can salt your bed with camphor, like that, and sleep on it. There should be no granules, so you don't have discomfort. It should be like powder. The other way how you can do, you can squeeze it, one small pinch of it, and use it to smell it first, like this, and then you can put it on your face. Yeah, like this, and wipe your face with it, and hair and head, everywhere, like that. It removes negative energy and it smells very good. Sometimes if you have problems with the eyes, you can smell it and blink inside, like this, with the eyes to remove the negative energy from the eye sockets. So camphor can be used like that. This pure camphor can be used a small pinch, like 1 millimeter pinch in water, and you can drink that water in case you have some stomach problems. Or you can light the camphor. Best to do it outside because it gives out black smoke. I will show you now how the camphor is lit. I have this brass metal piece specifically designed for camphor lighting, but you can use anything that you have which is metal and has a handle, and you can light the camphor. It lights very easily and very fast, and it leaves no residue, just emits this black smoke. So by holding it firmly, you can go around yourself, yeah, around your eyes, around your head, like that, and around the whole body. Or somebody else can do it for you, and you can do it outside on the balcony or in your yard. It helps to remove the black covering from the aura. It is a very instantaneous effect. You will feel immediately lighter. You can try it. Let me see if there are questions about camphor. There is another question not related to camphor. If a married couple sleeps in one bed, do we have to use 2 boxes for each? No, Sanj. You can use boxes, even if 2 people are in the same bed, boxes should be around the bed, not a problem. No need to put in between. To spell which camphor, I will spell again. It is Bhimseni, Bhimseni. It can be found on many sites on internet and in some Indian shops as well. Okay, dear seekers, we have come to the end about the demonstrations of these remedies. If you have any questions about camphor, please ask, or any other questions on spirituality, you can ask also. Otherwise, we will start concluding this webinar. I think some more questions are coming. Can I use camphor for headache? Absolutely. There is one more way how you can use it. You can take a piece of camphor and put it on your head also. Like this, I'll show you. If there is a negative energy on you, it will stick. Yeah? For me, it's falling right now, but if there is a need, it will stick and remain like that. So for headache, it is good like that. You can smell it all the time. Headache decreases. You can put it on the temples, and you can light it, or somebody else can do the removal with camphor around you. Yeah? Around the whole aura. So for headache, it is very good. Can be used for boxes also instead of incense sticks. Better not. Not the light one, not the lit one. But you can maybe put some powder in it. Yes, you can use. If in case you don't have SSRF incense sticks, you can put some camphor powder in it. Inhalation of camphor, yes, but slightly, like this. If you have a container box, you can smell like that. Sometimes you feel how negative energy is removed from your eyes and face. You can smell like that. And dear seekers, if some of you know those wicks, sticks for nasal congestions, they also contain camphor. Camphor is also found in some remedies for back pain, in the gels for back pain, creams for back pain. There is a reason why camphor is put there, but that is that natural Bimseni camphor, which is from Carpora plant, which grows in India. Okay, dear seekers, I will just now share some points with you. We already mentioned that you can keep sending questions for this webinar. We will be replying within 24 hours. You can also write in private messages. We will attend to that. If any one of you needs individual personal guidance about your spiritual practice or spiritual healing remedies or distress or any other issue, you can write to us on login as well, and we will answer those questions. Please share this webinar with your friends and family, because the more people learn about this knowledge, the better they will be off, and it is the aim that we help humanity. So please do share the webinars. If you like these webinar sessions, you can subscribe to them, and we will show you on the slide how to subscribe. Basically, you need to click on like button on our page, then on following, and on suggested videos, suggested live videos. You can do like that. Our next webinar, dear seekers, will be on 5 March, and it will be about chanting. So stay tuned and come again, watch our SSRF live Facebook videos, because it can help you a lot in your life, in your spiritual practice. And they are all given to you by the grace of God. We all, seekers, express Namaskar to you, to our seeker family. Namaskar.